At the takeoff I lift my wing, but there is a cravat on the right side, so I cancel the takeoff. I straighten it, raise it again, and the cravat is on the other side. The cravat isn't too big or complicated, so I don't cancel the takeoff again and figure I'll XC flight it over the trees and then knock it off. The other pilots call out to me, but the friends I came with reassure them that we are now coming from SIV and I can handle it. This is soon confirmed, but it was still irresponsible to take off with a cravat. The conditions in Bassano today are absolutely ideal, 1900 reaches, lots of strong and wide thermal areas everywhere, which are marked by other pilots' buoys almost like a race. Great pilots today are known by centering and thermalizing a 5 meters per second climb and rolling on. The less capable, of which I am one, are picking up the fallout in some 2 meters per second. We wanted to fly with Janka. I take off first, she takes off after me. First I'm in a mediocre thermal and she's a little lower in another weaker one, but when I top out the climb and fly through a 4 meters per second sink, and she's up a 5 meters per second thermal like a rocket. So even though she's not speed systemic, unlike me, she's progressing much faster due to the more efficient thermaling. Conditions are much better today than yesterday. I'm managing to hold, I don't know, 1200 and up, let's say. Reaching 1900, yesterday it was only 1600 I think. I haven't been at 1900 yet today, though. I turned around in the same place as yesterday, only 200 meters higher, so I didn't have to scramble off the floor somewhere. I flew back through it pretty good and fast. Now I finally have a view of that famous monument that I completely missed yesterday. I didn't see it at all. Janice said she'd wait for me there, so I'll see if I can catch up with her. But it's not so much about speed on the crossing, it's about who can find the thermal. So if one is able to center a 4 meters per second, he's gonna save a lot more time than he did on the crossing. We'll see. Well, I've got to thermal better than just some 1 meter per second weak thermals. And hopefully it'll go faster. By the time I thermal east, she's almost back to the monument. She radios me and offers to wait for me, but I don't have any constant delays. I'm consistently thermaling about a third slower, so there's no point. She'd still be waiting for me.
Já jsem teď u toho památníku teprve, mám vytočeno, tak uvidím, no, poletím podél zemene. Ale jestli máš natočeno, tak klidně skákej a snad tě třeba doletím, anebo leď prostě samo.
It gives me time to admire the monument. I'll fly over the top circle and then fly back over the monument. It's really nice. XC flights aren't just about miles flown. I'm back at the takeoff. I linger a little longer. I've been to see the memorial. Janka, she's already in a total funk. She's been squawking on the radio, so I guess she's pretty far gone. Last I heard, she must have jumped off the little grappa a long time ago. So I'm maybe an hour behind her. But I finally got 1900. And it looks like a great day today. I'm skipping the valley wind just fine and then catching the best thermal of the day and maybe my whole career. I'm flying into it upwind and the variometer is gradually gaining in intensity. 1 meter per second becomes a 3 meters per second, which is normally where I would have started thermaling, but this time I keep flying until it's an integrated 5 meters per second. I'm behind the second turn point. I've XC flown over the shallow area where it was a little bit harder. But at the point where I bombed out yesterday, I had 700 more. So it went just fine. Then I flight over it, there's some steep rocks here, and it's rewarding. That's totally luxurious flying. 3 meters per second thermals everywhere, nice and wide. Compared to the drop yesterday, it's absolutely beautiful. Reaches are about 1700, which I thought they'd be today. even though they were 1900 during the day. Now I can't break 1700. But even with those, it's flying great. There was one big crossing. Some Maruna was flying in there, I gave up on it. I got where I wanted to go. And now there's an Enzo coming back from that big crossing. I think I'll fly back with them. The ride back is going fine. I meet Peter Zelina in a yellow Comet, the same color as the Venus that lured me into the trap at Ljubljana yesterday. I fly very conservatively. I mostly top out the terminal, where they often fade. Peter flies the 1 meter per second thermal without thermaling and leaves the stronger ones as soon as they start to fade. This makes him fly a lot faster, although sometimes I think he struggles a bit. Often, the 1 meter per second climbs higher or just next to it gets stronger into a 2 or 3 meters per second, so sometimes I progress faster. The crossing back is okay again, with a bit of a roll over the valley wind in a weak thermal. But it's unnecessary, as there is a nice thermal on the other side marked by other pilots between the first and second west ribs.
Tak kde seš ty, Janičko?
I'm over the takeoff for the third time today. I've done a little bit of, let's say, minimal track here. To the end and back and to the other end and back. Kind of like the one in Revnikov. Or Lijak, too. So I can tick off Bassano and just improve next time. But today was great, I mean. The conditions were absolutely luxurious. I guess I could have flown further. But it was enough for me, for 5 hours in the air. I'm gonna stretch it out a bit more on the flats. But it was worth it, I mean. It was great. I've got 1,200 meters of altitude over the landing, so I want to shake out 600 meters on the way there and 600 meters on the way back. But it hardly sinks before the mountains, and even this late there are frequent thermals. They may only be 1 meter per second, but they are slowly but surely gaining altitude. I'm happy to deal with strong thermals in the mountains, but I understand pilots who fly to the flats to cool off. I struggled with thermal one day in the mountains in Lijak and when it was 0:4. I also flew a little bit ahead and I was able to thermal it just fine. No need for that today. Even in the mountains it was nice to thermal. But it's not useless to have this option in your arsenal. I used to imagine that in the flats before the mountains it would be more of a surefire dodge.
Oh,
in the flats, I'll make it past the highway to the very edge of airspace. I've got it back to 8.5:1 glide, so I reckon I'll have to top out some finishing touches. Eventually I might be able to do it without thermaling, as it's mostly only sinking about 0.5 meters per second and I have a slight breeze in my back. Fourth and last time over the takeoff today. Here I am, 5.5 hours ago. I took off with a cravatte, which I figured would be easy to shake out and I'd take off with it. Well, I did, I got that one out and I took off. And then it was a ride today. Absolutely brilliant. Now I'm still on a royal high, so I think I'm just gonna flush it out and go to the campsite. 'Cause there's nothing left. I've stretched it out to the airspace, which will probably add, I don't know, a few points. But it was still nice over the flats. Nice 1 meter per second, nice and steady. And you could probably fly more. Lots of wings still out there. I'm trying crazy chicken, but I'll probably leave one side collapse too long before stalling the other side and it'll come apart. Jirka taught Janka to put both sides on at the same time. Collapse one side and stall the other at the same time. Then release one at a time, first the stalled side, then the collapsed side. I release my unraveled version like this, which makes a cravat, but I pull it out with 2 spins. Then I still do wingovers, and unlike SIV, I think about it. When I have Snatchby on the radio, I listen to him and don't think too much, plus I'm influenced by someone watching me. When I do them independently, I have time to think about bank, brake timing, the later the turn, the higher the turn, but no later than the bottom corner. Checking the outside and releasing the brakes quickly. I think I'm better at this than during the whole SIV. I still have to learn to sense the amount of power that affects how big I can make the next wing over. The landing zone at the campground is a little downhill, so I'm almost a little long. It's better to land downhill at a low speed and not a fast approach like I'm used to. Today was an absolutely awesome day. On most of the XC flights I bail out of low altitude at least once. When I do, it makes for a nice XC flight. If not, it's just a freak. I didn't have to bail out once today.